In 1977, George Lucas shook the world of filmmaking to its core with his film Star Wars, an immediate and unparalleled success still celebrated to this day. This film, which launched one of the most massive multi-marketing properties known to man, is not what we'll be talking about today. Instead, join us as we wind the clocks forward 1 year to discuss the one corner of a galaxy far, far away that even George Lucas doesn't want to talk about. We're talking about the Star Wars Holiday Special today on Script or Screen. I also like this idea that we just keep delaying the actual Star Wars review
over and over again until we
we're talking
just
about George Lucas' seminal filmmaking work, American Graffiti.
We're talking about THX 1138. Well, actually, that's a great episode. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Script or Screen. My name is Christopher Kitchen. I'm one of your hosts, alongside my co-host, Zach Strackman. Zach,
Hello.
How are you doing this evening, today, whenever the time that these listeners are listening to this podcast too?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Dude, I am hyped. Our second most anticipated episode forever is happening right now. We are finally picking the ball back up. We're back in this galaxy far, far away. I'm talking the Star Wars universe, my favorite place to be, the happiest place on Earth, if you will.
That's what I think some people call it.
I think at Disney, that's their saying, the happiest place on Earth, or something like that, which is pretty a bold claim. I don't know. Have you ever been to Disney?
Yeah, I've been a few times, but when I was a kid. I gotta say, admittedly, when I was there, I was having a pretty good time.
Well, they're known for good times.
Well, it's a good time. Sitting down for a nice Star Wars feature, because there's nothing that we love more than Star Wars. That might not be a true statement, but you can always, sometimes, occasionally count on Star Wars to give you something good.
Well, I would even say, like, during this time of the year, at least more recently, with the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, and all these new movies that Disney's given us, speak of the devil, we have been given Star Wars during this fantastic time of year, really. Following our last week, our rocky Thanksgiving, by the way, again, happy post-Thanksgiving, Zach.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed your meal. I know it was quite delicious, likely. I, on the other hand, did not like anything to having to do with my Thanksgiving at all. It was the worst. I'm just kidding. I haven't even had it yet.
Yeah, we are recording this 3 days before Thanksgiving.
I know.
But when our listeners hear it, hey, Thanksgiving was good, and I didn't get sick even a little bit.
Let's hope not. I actually had 2 COVID tests I had to take in the last week, both negative. I had to take 2 in the last week. How crazy is that?
It's not crazy. That's just the new reality we live in.
It is. Both negative. Lucky myself. So my household is good to go.
Actually, sorry. Let me paraphrase. Going off what we're going to be talking about going forward in this episode, it might be crazy. My barrier for what is and is not crazy has just been flattened at this point.
So what's the craziest thing ever that you could think of at this point?
I don't know. I feel like I've gone numb from watching this abomination that we subjected ourselves to this week.
That's before we get into that, because that's not wrong. I want to say it's actually, there's one piece of information that I feel like I want to look into, because I did mention a little before. Oh, okay. I'm not. That would make no sense. This is called the Star Wars Holiday Special, also released around November 17th, 1978. Mm-hmm. When most Star Wars films, up before the prequels at least, or actually even during the prequels, were all released in May.
Yeah, they were like summer.
It had something to do with George Lucas's birthday also being like around the same time that the films were being released. So that's why they also wanted them to be summer blockbusters, if you will, until sequel trilogy they turned into Christmas, winter themed Hanukkah, Kwanzaa movies.
Yeah,
if you will.
Yeah. I distinctly, I have a vivid memory of seeing Attack of the Clones while on like summer vacation, back when I lived in Georgia as a kid, vacationing down in Florida.
What is your favorite Star Wars memory as a child?
Oh, geez. Probably sitting down in my living room, with a VHS copy of Return of the Jedi, and just popping that bad boy in, and just being, as a child, as the exact demographic that those movies are made for, just being carted off into this amazing world that George Lucas made.
Would you say Return of the Jedi is your personal favorite, or?
As a matter of fact, it's not. It is the one I probably watched the most as a kid, because it's the only one I had on home video.
Really? You didn't have the other ones?
Actually, no, I had... Let me see. I want to say, I don't think we had any of them on VHS, because I remember that specific copy of Return of the Jedi was one of my neighbors, and I think I still have it. Austin, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think my favorite Star Wars movie is, having finally grown and matured, only slightly, mentally, I should say. I think my favorite Star Wars film is probably Empire.
Okay, so you're what we call a basic bitch. All right.
Well,
that's good to know.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. I think Empire is a fantastic film.
One of the best movies ever made. Standalone.
I think it is praised for a lot of the things that later Star Wars movies are like criticized for.
Okay.
So, and in a series where it seems like nowadays they're looking to take as few risks as possible, that was quite the risky move to take with Star Wars.
I'll tell you what, Return of the Jedi for the longest time was probably my favorite one. And then, the prequels came out, and then, I grew up with the prequels, right? Like, I like them a lot.
I like
nostalgia, and then as I got older, I realized the issues that were, that came about with them.
And I should say this, for the day that we inevitably do come to the prequel movies, I like Revenge of the Sith. I don't really care for Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, even though they have their moments of goodness, but overall they are kind of just bad. But as a child, I liked them, because I was 9 years old when Phantom Menace came out.
Yeah.
It was only growing up and becoming a much more, having a better understanding of like filmmaking and stuff, that I went, this is not good.
Yeah.
For me, these are purely my tastes, but I know, like you,
at this point, my favorite Star Wars movie actually doesn't come from either the sequel or the prequel trilogy. This is hot take, Zachary. Hot take.
Ooh. Watch fingers.
I have since
might get
decided.
Burned
I know.
I've
since decided that The Last Jedi is probably my favorite Star Wars movie ever.
Dude, it's really up there for me. I know I can already hear our audience like shuffling out the door.
I don't know if it was smart for us to reveal that information this early into our podcast, but
listen, I would rather get it off my chest now. I thought for a long time that the prequel movies were hot garbage, except for Revenge of the Sith, which I think is pretty friggin' good, but it still has its moments of not goodness. But
sure,
for the longest time, I really, really considered that the prequel movies, mainly Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, were just bad on like every level until Rise of Skywalker. And it's like, then I go like, okay, so like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones are bad, but at least, like, Lucas was trying something new, and it was a unique approach. And then you get, like, Rise of Skywalker, which is just garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage with the only intention to serve, like...
Let me tell you what, my first viewing in the theater, opening day of Rise of Skywalker, I can definitely say I don't think I enjoyed it. I was kind of sad. I mean, there were certain parts of the film that I liked, but I wanted to like the film overall, right? I didn't want to just like a scene or two scenes. And then, I'm privy to buy the home media. Like I bought the Blu-ray 4K collection and everything like that, because I figured, like, I had the other two, I should probably complete the set.
Right.
And so, and also another thing that people don't realize is that these medias, they actually made documentaries about the making of these films. And so the biggest thing for me was, I need to see where everything went wrong.
there's that famous moment in the behind the scenes of Phantom Menace where they're all in the viewing room, and George Lucas goes, I may have gone a bit too far in a few places.
Exactly. So it's super important for me to see, like, all right, come on, J.J. Abrams or what was the writer's name? Chris. He wrote Argo as well. Chris,
yeah,
no, I was gonna say Chris Tucker. That's not him.
Chris Tucker.
No, all right. I'll have to look up. Google his Justice League, because he also wrote Justice League.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name too.
Chris Terrio. Boom. Done.
Boom.
Or he wrote Batman vs Superman, did not Justice League. I forget what.
Whatever. He's a questionable writer.
No, well, he's Academy Award winning. He won the Academy Award for Argo, right? And so
I think Ben Affleck had a hand in that too, though.
No. Chris Terrio was the sole writer. Ben Affleck was the producer and director.
I like my idea better.
All right, Jesus. Anyways, upon my second and third viewings of Rise of Skywalker, there were certain things that I was a little more okay with or comfortable with.
You're like, upon my 15th viewing.
But sometimes I feel like movies do that to me, where I watch them multiple times and then I become okay with certain things. This isn't a Rise of Skywalker podcast. I'll get into that much later.
I would say you have, I think, a much higher threshold than I do for, like, bad movies. Like, you can see a bad movie and be like, yeah, there's much more redeeming value than what I would find. I tend to, I think, be a lot harder on bad movies.
What do you think our well, I was going to say, what do you think our first bad movie podcast is going to be? Technically, the Star Wars Holiday Special isn't necessarily a movie, right? It's a TV holiday special.
It's a big stinky pile of what did Jar Jar call it in Phantom Menace when he steps in shit?
I don't know, but we can always say dank ferric, because that might work.
Oh my god, I think, like, they've used that phrase like 3 times in the new season of Mandalorian,
and I don't know why. It's almost as bad as a Womp Rat at this point. All right, it is a made-for-TV movie, is what it's called. So,
yeah, I don't even think it's a made-for-TV movie. I think it's just it was a variety special with an excuse for a narrative.
I was going to say, what is it called? IMDb categorizes it as a TV movie, which is interesting.
Okay, well, call it what you will. I figure, like, it's got a lot of skits. It's got musical
call it what moments. You will. It's a piece of shit, is what it is.
So let's look at this cast list, because, man, did people come to play. So first things first, they got basically the entire original cast of Star Wars back. They got Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader. And so I was going to give this special... Huh?
Oh, no, keep going.
I was going to say, I was going to give this special crap because they go, and R2-D2 as...
R2-D2.
And I was going to be like, oh, you're you're just gonna throw Kenny Baker under the bus like that. But he actually did not have any involvement in this special. I looked it up. He, I believe everything with R2-D2 in this special was remote controlled. So he legitimately was not in the suit.
Sorry, Kenny.
Yeah, but first time when I was
gonna say sorry, Kenny, and sorry, Alec Guinness, because he kind of. I mean, I guess it takes place after the events of the first film.
Yes, this is canonically, I suppose. After how many years? ABY is this?
Like 2 months. I don't know. Like they don't explain any of that.
So what's great about this is you would think, God, what a star-studded cast. Clearly this is going to be a fantastic thing to watch because I got all my favorite actors from Star Wars, the one Star Wars movie that exists. Where could this go wrong? Except that it's not about the Star Wars characters. It's about Chewbacca's family.
You mean Malala, Itchy, and Lumpy?
Yeah, so his wife, Mala. Her whole name is Mala Tobuk.
Oh, boy.
His father, Itchy, whose name is Atichikuk. It's an unfortunate name. And his son, Lumpy, which Wikipedia has informed me, his name is either Lumpawarump or Lumpawaru.
Which one are you more privy to?
Lumpawaru.
I like Lumpawarump. I don't know what it is about this character, but his name speaks to me.
But yeah, and then there's some guest appearances. I know you mentioned the guest appearances. I would say the most substantial guest appearance is Art Carney as Son Dan, the local trader, and maybe, just maybe, a man with a dark secret. I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the awesome cameo of Jefferson Starship.
Oh, Jefferson Starship as just themselves.
Yeah.
And, just they are here.
Listen, as a fan of prog rock, progressive rock, right?
Yeah.
Like my favorite music genre, like I gotta say, I really did appreciate the
we'll get to that, but
the platform they were given in the Star Wars universe.
We will definitely get to that, but it is one of the highlights in one of the few good moments of this dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But we got Harvey Korman, great comedian Harvey Korman, for me, I know him best as Hedy Lamarr in Headley. It's Headley. Headley Lamar in Blazing Saddles. And we got B. Arthur. She shows up in this. Diane Carroll. It's just a cavalcade of guests, and boy, is this just a weird. My question.
Yes. You in the front seat.
Thank you. How much cocaine?
Okay, so you wrote this in our notes, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know, Zach and I have a little spreadsheet, like a Google document.
We have an Excel
notes.
Spreadsheet.
And so your very first note is, I feel like I just came off an hour and a half of a cocaine high. And I'm like...
And I'd like to say for our viewers, I have never done cocaine. I will never do cocaine. That is a joke.
We don't endorse drug use.
We don't endorse drug use. I just feel like that's what I felt like coming off of this thing.
Okay, from someone who hasn't done it before, I can tell you right now, I'm pretty sure people who say that they've done it, it's just that they're awake all the time and very focused and attentive. So I don't think I can relate to this note that you have.
Okay, well, I think this whole thing was the result of a bunch of people just doing drugs and writing down the first thing that came to their mind, but also trying to make it Star Wars.
I think the Beatles said something super similar to that. Yeah, I don't know. So the writers credited with this it's not George Lucas.
No.
I'm gonna credit this to Pal Proft, Leonard Rips, Bruce Vilanch, Rod Warren, and Mitzi Welch. I'm going to blame all of them for this.
I did a little digging. There's two directors involved with this. The main director is Steve Binder, and then there is an uncredited directorial work by David Akomba.
Okay.
And David Akomba, I believe, was a classmate of Lucas who had talked to him and, I guess, shopped around some ideas of doing a special or a spin-off that was just about Wookiees. And then somewhere along the way, he was kind of kicked off the project, and Steve Binder picked it up, and I think that's when it became more of like a variety show. And like I said, I have to assume there was just, mountains of drugs behind the scenes, because I don't know how any sober person looks at this and says, yeah, this is what the people want. But, I think the best way to, if our lovely audience hasn't decided to hurt themselves by watching this special, I think the best way
I don't know if I'd recommend that either.
No, I think we can save themselves. We can save them a lot of trouble if we explain this weird thing.
I looked it up. I think I have the right Steve Binder. He has directed a lot of the Emmy television specials. So he's just a television special guy.
Well, you know what? It I don't have words.
I don't have words neither.
We'll just let's cruise through. Let's look at some of the things that are going on. First off, this special, I almost said this episode. This special kicks off on a crazy note. We have Han and Chewie in the Falcon outrunning two Imperial Star Destroyers.
Wow, something we have never seen before in the Star Wars universe up until this point.
Talk about the first televised Star Wars, and you're starting with a bang. A bang.
I would even say like a vaporization almost. They were being shot at, weren't they? Or they were just being chased?
Both.
Something like that.
All we know is that Han and Chewie are trying to get to the planet of Kashyyyk, Chewbacca's homeworld, the homeworld of the Wookiees, so that way they can celebrate Life Day. And this is our first mention of Kashyyyk, so that's kind of cool. This is
what's great is they kind of kept it consistent throughout the rest of the Star Wars properties over the years.
You could totally. I would have been very understanding if they just never went back to Kashyyyk and it's like, hey, let's just ignore this. But no, there's a bunch of action scenes there in Revenge of the Sith.
Not Revenge of the Sith. There's also the video game properties, right? They made it a fightable world in Battlefront 2, the original, and I think the new one, maybe.
That's right. And what about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees, guy?
That's a meme. That's an internet meme.
And then actually an interesting level in Jedi Fallen Order, recent EA game released.
Yes, that's
single
right. I forgot
player.
about that.
That was a pretty good game. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they made it relevant. It was cool. I would say it's one of the more enjoyable parts of episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
So just it originated from this film.
And as we'll learn going forward, it's not the only aspect of Star Wars that got its start in this holiday special. So I think for a piece of enjoyable fiction, I think that pacing is really important. So you start off with something intense. You wanna bring it down. You want to set your pacing good, so that way you're not at up at 10 the whole time. Sometimes you got to bring it down to 5. Sometimes you got to bring it down to maybe a mid, like a 7 or something.
So you're talking about the immediate second after they cut from the space battle onto Kashyyyk, and now we're inside of Wookiees, the Wookiee home.
Sometimes you need nearly 10 minutes straight of Wookiees with creepy human eyes and teeth grunting and growling at each other.
Oh my god, what was that? What's funny? This is hilarious. It's when you see Lumpy climb down the staircase inside of Chewie's home, and the carpet on the floor, the stove, the kitchen setting, the living room.
Chewbacca's home is like this amazing contemporary 1970s interior.
Yeah.
The furniture, the wood paneling on everything.
It's fantastic. Also, but oh, Jesus Christ, this kid's like coming down the stairs like he's playing with his little X-Wing. I'm like, what is happening? There's no, you don't, they're squawking, right? They're grunting, they're doing their thing.
Full Wookiee.
Yeah. Or actually, isn't the language, there's a name for the language, isn't there?
Let's look it up. Wikipedia, here I come.
What does Alden Ehrenreich say in Solo? What does he call it?
Shirawook.
Shirawook. Yeah, so the native language of the Wookiees, people. We're getting super technical in this episode, so, polish off your Shirawook.
This is a pretty deep cut as far as the Star Wars, canon goes. Like, this whole special is,
Do they consider it, is it still relevant to the rest of the the series?
So I would say that because in the first episode of Mandalorian, the character of Mithril, who is played by Horatio Sands, blue guy, he mentions Life Day. So I gotta think, they don't like to talk about it, but this is canon.
I guess. I can't. Maybe it's just the aspects of it. Maybe just because we haven't heard mention of Chewie's family. What? Yeah, what is that?
Hey, listen. Just because he's big and hairy and stuff doesn't mean he doesn't have a family.
Maybe not. Maybe he's not that lucky. But who knows? I don't know. But let's get through this.
So yeah, as we know, this is a variety special type thing. The whole thing of Chewie's family is a framing device for which we just watch a bunch of skits and stuff. This is an hour and a half long. Why?
I think at the 30-minute mark, I paused my television. I'm like, I still have another hour of this.
Dude, I did the same thing. I stopped it and it was 25 minutes, and I said, God.
What I want to do. Maybe we should invite a guest to come onto the show, someone who's actually watched the special live on television, and just I want to gauge a reaction. What?
Maybe one day, 100 episodes from now, we'll revisit this when our brains have kind of dulled from the pain this thing caused. But
I was gonna say there is the new Star Wars holiday special that has been released.
That's right. Yeah, the Lego holiday special just came out, featuring some of the voice talent from Clone Wars and Rebels, and some just brand new voices. Some are good, some are there.
Yeah, some are less good, but it's a new. You know what I feel like they made it is because they wanted to start flooding the internet with a new source, index source for Star Wars holiday special, so that
maybe
it would drown out some of the older stuff.
I think, especially just going off some of the jokes that are in the Lego holiday special, I think they're willing to kind of laugh at themselves a little bit. There's a joke in the new holiday special. I haven't watched all of it. I've seen the first half, but there's a joke in it about how everything's going wrong with their Life Day celebration or the Life Day party preparation, and Poe Dameron says oh, this is the worst galactic crisis since Jar Jar Binks' Senate speech. And it's oh, that's pretty funny. That's when Jar Jar gave the
emergency powers
to Palpatine, and I think Star Wars is getting to the point that they can kind of laugh at themselves a bit, which is great because you never like anything that takes itself too seriously. But unfortunately for this, for Star Wars, coming off the first movie, I don't think they were there yet, because at no point does this special feel like anyone's oh, we're just palling around. It's I just feel like everyone involved was it just shrugging their shoulders, being I don't know, what's Star Wars? How about a hologram circus that Lumpy watches on his little device?
I mean,
and it's just a guy stomping around with thigh-high boots, and
at some point I thought, I'm well, so this is playing on the chessboard, right? Is this just
right.
An alternative form of the chess? That's what I didn't understand. at this, like, this scene doesn't. All right, so we all know that Star Wars is based off of like serialized like sci-fi
Like Flash
TV,
Gordon,
like Flash
yeah.
Gordon. Like this seems something that would actually be more a little more fitting for like the Flash Gordon universe
Yeah.
than what Star Wars has become. I would say Star Wars has almost immediately changed what it was from the first like film to Empire Strikes Back. It then became something very different. Not in a bad way, or just it took another direction than like
right. It took on a life of its own.
it did. It really did. And what I just
So I think
didn't get that.
now, so many years and so many movies and specials and shows into Star Wars, it's easy for us to be like, what the hell is this? You got to remember at the time, there was only one Star Wars movie. So for these people that got to write it and direct it, they probably, weren't, they all they knew of Star Wars was what they saw in the movie. So they said, you know what, I guess, some acrobatics on a chessboard hologram. Listen, if I was saying it's the weirdest thing in this special, I'd be lying. So I think we need to keep ourselves trucking along. The only thing I'd like to highlight before, though, is that I want you to put yourself into a mental state.
All right, I'm closing my eyes.
Close your eyes.
I'm getting comfy.
It's 1978. It's November 17th. It is.
Wow, that's a month before your birthday.
Wow. It's you're shaping up to watch the Star Wars holiday special is coming on, and just last year you watched Star Wars for the first time, and it rocked your little world. Because I'm assuming you're a child, or at least a person who is young at heart, who really enjoyed Star Wars, and you know that the Star Wars holiday special is coming out. You've cleared your schedule to be here to watch it, and you sit down, and it's this.
I'm sure I was quite excited because you know what, you really did build it up to be such an event, Zach. Let me tell you, I'm in the mood. Right. I loved every little bit of it.
And well, okay, so at the very least, after this, like I said, nearly 10 minutes of just Wookiee nonsense bullshit, we get another familiar face. We get Luke Skywalker.
But kind of, right?
He's got a new haircut.
It's not just and really great looking teeth, by the way.
Yeah,
and like the dreamiest eyes.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know if it was the lighting on this, on where like Mark Hamill is in this scene, but it looks like he's wearing like a lot of eye makeup.
I could see it. I could see it. I feel like, makeup is really, they put it on everything, right?
Right, and I know for TV it's different than movies. The lighting is different.
I'll tell you what, lights in the back in the day were a little harsher, right? Versus now, a lot of the stuff is, we still have like a lot of LED paneling and things like that. Like before, you just had like those super hot, super big
it's
and
also
heavy, like
yeah, a difference between like film production lighting and like someone's on like a sound stage for a TV thing.
I would say some of the lights are kind of similar, but it's just, there's a different range of lights, right? But yeah, he definitely had like the spotted treatment, where he was getting some good stuff. I don't know what we could say really, because there was also that effect that like he was being projected through a TV at some ends, and at one point we were given his extra spot. But listen, Zach, that isn't even the thing that put me off to Luke Skywalker giving his appearance in this. It was he, first of all, his like dismissal of R2-D2.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
he's just like. It's like, R2, no! God!
You son of a bitch! Like, what? Oh my god.
And then he just starts like, he starts saying like, to Mala, he's like, come on, Mala. Give us a little
you don't want to be
smile.
Sad. You don't want to be sad on Life Day. Come on.
And like Mala, again.
Do it.
Do it. But,
very Me Too, no one remind Mark Hamill of this.
It is very awkward, very weird, and like again, like the costumes for the Wookiees. I don't know what it is like that you can see their eyes so clearly, but it's so creepy looking.
I'll tell you what, actually, when I look back at like Star Wars or A New Hope or whatever you want to call it, Chewbacca's costume too, like his eyes actually look pretty like visible, right? They're not like black dots or anything. I think there was, I mean, you look at other versions, and they don't get it so right, but I look at like Peter Mayhew's eyes and everything, like they really made sure that they kind of popped.
He had the perfect Chewbacca eyes. I don't know exactly what that entails, but Peter Mayhew, 1 in a million. Listen, you want to talk about something weird, kind of going off on a tangent if we're talking about Chewbacca's character design. At least for me, I did not even fathom that Chewbacca had big sausagey fingers until Force Awakens when they showed him like activating thermal detonators. And second I saw him, I was like, ew.
That was did I have a moment like that? I liked it. We could see his paw, hands.
They're like dog fingers, but whatever. Getting back to it though, okay, here's where we're getting my favorite character of the Star Wars Holiday Special, Art Carney as Sandan, the traitor, and boy, do I have some thoughts on this guy.
I like his introduction's weird, but also so is that like asshole. Well, he's not a cop, but he's the Imperial
officer with like the 70s porn stash.
He's like, I'm off duty. Like his voice, like that he had to put on. I'm like, what kind of character choice is that?
I love it because for one, he's like, Sandan is like showing him this device and like how great it is, and the guy's like, he's like, oh, do you want to pay for it? Do you want to trade me something? And the Imperial guy's like, no, I'm just gonna take it, and he takes it and just shoves it down his pants.
Like, oh, you're gonna take it? I thought I'd give you as a gift. I didn't want to embarrass you a little bit, I'm wondering why I'm talking like this.
But then, I'm listening to Sandan's how he's describing things, and he's like, "You're like these little micro aquariums. These Wookiees like all this stupid crap," and you're just like, "God, can you relax, dude?"
I know. Like, I didn't. I didn't. It's not that I didn't like his character. His character just seemed very questionable to me.
Let me tell you, his character is very questionable, and soon we will cut to the heart of who Sandan really is.
I do want to highlight one of his moves, though, because he does call his Wookiee friends Mala and Itchy and Lumpy. God, and when he's trying to tell them, they're like, oh yeah, like Han and Chewie's on their way home. By the way, did we even say that? I don't even give like a synopsis of this because I don't even know what a synopsis of this show would. Let's see really quickly. I have one right in front of me. The synopsis this far into the episode is Chewbacca and Han Solo try to get to the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk to celebrate Life Day, but are impeded by an Imperial blockade. Chewie's family passes the time with various forms of entertainment. Well, actually, I would say the latter half of that of that synopsis is probably the most true thing ever.
Like, I feel like the proper synopsis of this is like Chewie's family dicks around until the Gestapo shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sandan, he has his introduction. He's basically like the biggest supporting character in this
yeah, I'd say so too.
Special
friend of the rebellion.
Yeah. And then so okay, we get Harvey Korman as Chef Gourmanda, where Mala is making her what is it? It's like
it's her Bantha surprise.
Yeah. And
yeah. Oh, they're gonna use the tastiest or the leanest part of the Bantha, the loin, the tenderloin. Oh God, like that's hilarious.
So again, I like Harvey Korman. I think he's a funny dude. Is he alive? I'm not finding out. We gotta move on. But the only thing I'll say about this is this is again just a bizarre who comes up with this. Clearly someone who doesn't really know what goes in Star Wars but thinks this goes in Star Wars kind of thing, where it's like an alien cooking show. But there's one good joke, and it's just when the third arm comes out, and like you're like, that's actually a little.
And then they're gonna top it off. They're gonna throw in a fourth one.
Right. But I think we get another quick cut to Han and Chewie running from the Empire. There's these actually like really good shots of TIE fighters flying around, and I wonder if they just ripped those from the movie.
Actually, that's not the first case of them ripping stuff from this movie. I don't know if we've passed the part yet or whatnot, but at the point of which we get James Earl Jones's appearance in the film, which is from Star Wars, is actually they used and redubbed a scene from A New Hope that's a deleted scene for A New Hope. You could actually like search it up on YouTube and pay for it, funny enough.
Oh, sweet.
Or just Google it on someone's page and they have it uploaded. But it's the same scene of Vader and this Moff, or whatever rank this guy has, walking down the hall. And instead, this new dub, James Earl Jones says, like, we'll search every home in the galaxy.
Right.
And then...
Because in all of this ridiculous nonsense, the writers are still like, no, the story has to make sense.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but they did use a lot of things or from A New Hope that they just didn't put out. Or I guess they just repurposed some of the scenes.
Right.
But yeah, that's my thought on the TIE fighter bit.
Okay, that's pretty cool though. There's an Imperial dude on the TV who calls the planet Kazook. I don't know if there's anything to that beyond just it's weird.
I feel like that's just like a incorrect edit. That guy, they didn't. Maybe the script supervisor wasn't on set that day and said, "Hey, it's Kashyyyk," or maybe they had gotten so many other takes. And he just couldn't say Kashyyyk properly.
They said, actually, Jim, it's Kashyyyk, and he was like, "Fuck you."
Or maybe he's like Kashyyyk, or maybe it could have been like the Room scenario, right, where he just couldn't say it properly, so they just,
Tommy Wiseau of the past.
Exactly.
But okay, so we're now getting to what is, I think, some of the juiciest parts of the Star Wars Holiday Special, because Trader Sandan shows up to the Chewbacca household.
Oh, and he brought some gifts and some requests.
So yeah, he's up to something. So walks in, he has a very stilted and awkward like greeting with everybody, and then he gives Lumpy a toy and gets him to run off, and then like. With Itchy, Chewbacca's father, right there, he asks Mala, Chewbacca's wife, to give him a kiss.
Give me a kiss.
And then she does
just a little one.
And then, okay, so like Lumpy runs off. Sandan gives Itchy like some like softcore erotic video of Diane Carroll.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that was. Like, so I watched this with my girlfriend, and we were just thinking together, like, what is happening? And then he keeps replaying the part where she keeps saying to him like, "Oh, you're adorable, something like that, right?" and oh my God,
and just like Sandan is like, "Well, it's a wow." And I mean, like, if it weren't for Art Carney just like committing fully to this role, I would not be able to handle it.
Yeah, I don't really. This is just a hodgepodge of
different
everything. I'll tell you what. Most of this entire special remained very uninteresting to me. Because it's the same overall thought, right? It's just how, why.
Well, that's why I had to come up with a ridiculous fan theory while I was doing it. It's the only way I could keep myself sane. So yeah, Sandan gives everyone distractions. He gives Lumpy a toy. He gives Itchy porn. And then he's alone with Mala, right? And you're like, ooh, what's going on there? We cut to a scene with C-3PO and Princess Leia. They're doing something, right? Like they're hardly in this.
They're filing their paperwork.
Right.
They're on their calculators.
So like, this is where my theory comes in like full, right? Because as they're talking, 3PO, like, I think Princess Leia is, like, untrusting of Sandan when she sees him on the Skype.
Right.
And C-3PO says that Mala is expressing her warmth toward the traitor. And I'm like, oh my god, Mala, Chewbacca's wife, and Sandan are having an affair. And I sat and I thought about it, and I said, and who could blame them? Who could blame them? Because Chewbacca's never around. He's getting mixed up with a lowlife like Han Solo, who works for like a mobster like Jabba the Hutt. You know, Han Solo, he was a spice runner. He ran drugs. You know, they get mixed up in the rebellion, and that just it literally in this special brings
it honestly, it does put a wedge. I could only imagine that kind of lifestyle puts a wedge in somebody's relationship.
Absolutely. You know what? And you know, poor Lumpy, he needs a consistent
father figure.
Exactly. And I go, you know what? It may be scandalous, but I can't say I blame them.
Oh, Zach, you did not just say that.
So then, and like later on, like, okay, so here's the big shocker is like the knock on the door and it's stormtroopers and you're like, ooh, and it cuts to commercial. So like there is a plot here, right? But it's
I guess if you call that a plot just because they use regular advertising conventions of commercials, which by the way, I love. All right, so the version that you and I watched was the YouTube available. Somebody like obviously put their screen recorded VHS copy and uploaded it. The very first commercial thing is the Star Wars Holiday Special is brought to you by General Motors.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I think there's a version you can find online, and it does have the commercials, which
I don't know if I want to watch commercials from 1978.
I don't know if I want to submit myself to watching it ever again.
We had to deal with 90s commercials, which were pretty crazy. I don't know.
Well,
all the cereals and such.
Let me tell you something. So the Empire shows up. Like I said, they're kind of like the Gestapo here. They're basically searching the house for any signs of the rebellion or rebel sympathizers.
Don't you like how they just rip apart everything and just pick up shit just to throw it on the ground?
Yeah.
How ruthless.
They're pretty intense. And like there's the one part where like they're like, Sandan, you go into the kitchen, and he's like trying to make jokes, and at one point he turns and he's like, Marlo, come to the kitchen with me. Like, and you're like, oh, he's trying to save her. Oh my god. Cause Sandan's a freak.
I would say so.
So in his like attempt to save his true love Mala and her family, Sandan gives one of the officers of the Empire Jefferson Starship to listen to. The song slaps.
I would say like it's a great little music video put into the entire, I don't know, special. It's probably like, what is it, 3-4 minutes long?
It's solid. It's like a whole music video.
Yeah, I would say it was probably one of the better parts. I think there were 3 parts of this entire special that I truly enjoyed. This being one of them.
Yeah, for me too.
I don't know how far the next bit comes. I don't remember. I think the next part would be like the animated section.
Yeah, so I think the next big thing is the animated special, which for me is probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, and for a number of reasons. One, because it kind of actually has an overall, I don't want to say theme, but like it's kind of consistent to the rest of the movies in some way, shape, or form.
A little bit. So, one thing that's cool, this special is made by Nelvana Limited, which they are the production company who in the 80s did the Droids animated show, which is all about C-3PO and R2-D2, and I'm pretty sure the art in that series was pretty much one-to-one with this special. Mm-hmm. And they also did an Ewok animated series.
Ooh, we all remember the Ewok series.
And everyone who knows this special knows this is the very first ever appearance of one Boba Fett.
Boba Fett friend, as they say. He's a friend Boba Fett. Or is he? This is, all right, so I hate this little disparity here, because I thought there was at some point where Luke finally understood R2-D2, I know he needed a translator when he was in his ship in the later movies at times, but I thought by the end of Star Wars or A New Hope, he spoke the language.
By the time you get to I think it's Empire Strikes Back, when they're leaving Hoth, he is like having full on conversations with R2.
Yeah, so why is he having to talk to C-3PO like, well, what's R2 saying? Well, what is that supposed to mean?
Because again, we only had what do you call it? The first Star Wars to go off of. But first things first, can I talk about how Boba Fett treats his like animal he's riding on?
Oh my god, he like smacks the thing.
Yeah, he's like, can I help you out of the water? And his like creature is like Loch Ness monster he's riding is like, he like grunts and he's like, shut up, and he smacks it with the butt of his rifle. He's like, this stupid creature.
Oh, I do want to say something about that rifle though, because we do later get the same gun in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. It's like a phase rifle or something.
I mean, I would say it becomes very devastating in the Star Wars canon.
Yeah, so it's this was a cool thing. I know, like, they later changed up Boba Fett's his color scheme and stuff, but it's crazy. Like,
they also got rid of the third eye that he had on his helmet.
Yeah, well, he has like what do you call it? Like the dent, like the dent in the side of his helmet.
Yeah,
there's so much stuff in here where you're like, wow, they like a lot of it is 1-to-1 with who Boba Fett kind of ends up being. Like he has the cable that comes out of his wrist that in Return of the Jedi he wraps up Luke with.
Yeah.
Before he's accidentally killed.
Oh, now that I think about it, he does. Vader does get a second line in the series, in this film, TV special, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
When it's revealed that Boba Fett works for Vader and is not a friend of the gang, if you will.
So
I would just say, like, I don't know about you, I enjoyed this kind of animation style. Like, I like the funny little bits about, like, C-3PO, like, his head would pop off and was just, like, kind of attached by a single wire. Same with, like, his wrists in certain parts. I don't know, just little things I'm like, oh, that's... Yeah, like, artistically, like, I like those freedoms that were taken.
It's kind of cool. Han Solo definitely has a bit of melty face going on.
You remember the little, like, still photos that were drawn for Grease?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what when I look at all those, like, I think of those when I look at this special.
It's definitely charming. It's actually really interesting because if you go and watch it when Boba Fett saves them, the creature, I think it like takes a bite. Huh?
I was like that dinosaur looking thing.
That stupid creature, and then he whacks it. But it takes a bite out of a spaceship or something, or it takes a bite and it has like this whole animation where it's chewing and stuff, and I'm like, this is really well animated for like when nothing else in the series is this well animated. But for some reason they just like went hard, like probably animating on ones for that one shot of a creature eating something.
When you animate on ones, that means you only hold a position per one frame, to anybody who's asking.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of things are animated, I would say, most in 2s or 3s even.
So that's every other frame.
Exactly. You would hold it in the... All right, most things, by the way, are filmed at like a frame rate of 24 frames a second. Now it's like 60 and 30 and things like that. Anyways, we're getting too technical.
Yeah, we are. Listen, this is a cool thing. I could really criticize it and be like, if Boba Fett was going to betray them the whole time, why didn't he just kill Chewie when they were away? I don't know.
Let me tell you something. It was probably the most entertaining part of the story because it actually had to deal with the characters of Star Wars and not this BS family and like other side characters that we were given,
and spicy extramarital affairs.
Yeah, I don't know about all that either.
Okay, well, we can keep moving forward. Harvey Korman comes back. as the instructor for this Morphean device that Sondan gave to Lumpy as a gift. And again, I think it might be thinking, this is pointless, this is really stupid, like this is like 3 minutes of like just complete nonsense, but it's
like a little tutorial.
It's a clever setup by these masterful writers and directors, setting up the Chekhov's gun of the Morphean device, which he later uses to fool and outwit the Imperials. So that is smart writing, let me tell you.
I mean, I suppose if there's any smart writing in this thing at all,
so
I don't know if I can appreciate any of this writing.
Let's get to the last like sketch of this whole thing, which is the cantina at Mos Eisley. I don't know if it's the cantina or a cantina, but we got B. Arthur as the bartender Akmina.
And then everybody else that we've seen in the cantina from the past has returned in their costumes.
I was gonna say, this is like, I like this segment because a lot of the costumes are like right from the movie.
Yeah. What the weirdest thing to me about this whole bit was that the cantina music was not the cantina music. It was like slightly
an approximation.
Off. Yeah. So what I'm thinking, what I thought was, did they not get the rights to use the same music?
They didn't. The Star Wars Holiday Special didn't get the rights from Star Wars.
But it's like, all right, I look at some of the production stuff, like the 20th Century Fox, who like owned the rights to distribute Star Wars at the time. They definitely helped produce almost the entirety of the thing, right? Mm-hmm. And they did distribute the project. So you would assume that they would give the rights to do such things. Like they even used John Williams themes in this. So if they had the theme that he created being the Cantina song, why did they put in an approximation of the song? Like
I don't know. Well, I know
the
that
famous song. I don't know.
The Jizz Whalers song.
Is that what you call it?
Well, the creatures. It's either the creatures. Hold on.
The ones that make the song, they're called Biths, right?
Well, so okay, this is via Wikipedia. Our primary source. A jizz whaler is a musician who specializes in playing jizz songs. Max Rebo and his band are popular jizz whalers. So jizz songs, this is real Star Wars stuff. It's
I did not know this.
It's a genre of music.
Is that the name that they chose?
So I guess maybe the Cantina musicians are not jizz whalers. But Max Rebo and his band from Return of the Jedi are definitely jizz whalers. They're primarily they perform music of the jizz genre.
Yeah, I don't know if I would consider them the same thing. All right, I'm going to share a little complaints on this podcast because it has nothing to do with the Star Wars Holiday Special, but it's about Star Wars music and in certain areas. You know how we talked earlier about Disney? Mm-hmm. So I've been to the Galaxy's Edge, Batuu in Disney a number of times now.
Yeah.
Not during COVID, but during the time that it's been open.
In the before time, as I call it.
Exactly. And when they opened Olga's Cantina, I'm like, that's awesome, great idea, should be super cool. And I remember being super disappointed when I walked in, like, it wasn't a Cantina band that they had to playing. It was like a droid that was DJing, and it was just like electric music. I was like, I guess that's okay, but I would have preferred
sometimes you need a droid just mixing it up. Sometimes you need just some good like canteen music. Sometimes you just need some warm jizz in your ear.
Yeah, I guess sometimes I need that jizz in my ear. Jesus.
Oh my god, this special is amazing. So you know what's cool about this special, this segment is B. Arthur, she's cool. Harvey Korman back again in his third role in this as Krellman. He's just some weird dude who just is bad at reading social cues.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to take a hint.
He drinks out of his head. That's kind of cool. I like weird Star Wars things. Ponda Baba is in this. He's seen dancing around to the Cantina music. Ponda Baba, if you don't know, for all you non-Star Wars nerds out there, he's the guy who comes up to Luke in the cantina in A New Hope, and he kind of just he looks like a big like alien, so he just kind of grunts at Luke, and then his partner Dr. Evazan is like, he doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
We're wanted men. I've got the death sentence on 12 systems.
Yeah, exactly. So Ponda Baba, who he shows
Isn't
up
he
here.
supposed to be dead by this point?
No, he's short in arm, but he has clearly grown it back for this special. But Ponda Baba, he is here. He's dancing around. And then during Akmina's song, which she sings, and it kind of sounds like, it has like the motif of the cantina music from A New Hope in it. It kind of follows that same rhythm.
Which isn't the first time that a song in this special will do that. Actually, this is the first time that it'll do that.
Right, we'll get to that.
Last.
We'll get to that. Jeez, but she dances with Ponda Baba while she's singing, and he seems really nice, which makes me wonder if Dr. Evazan was just a really bad influence on him, and Ponda Baba on any other day is actually a pretty nice guy. Maybe Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan got a bad read of him.
Yeah, or maybe the guy just really didn't understand him when he would talk to Luke, because maybe he said, "Please help me, get me away from this guy."
Yeah,
and
he's wanted...
Luke being unknown to other languages, evidently, couldn't understand. He didn't have his trusty droid C-3PO to help.
That's true, because their type wasn't welcome in the cantina.
Yeah,
it's all coming together.
Full circle.
Oh my god. But hey, finally, Han and Chewie arrive just in time, because so like the Imperials left, and they left like one stormtrooper to keep watch of everybody and to kill Chewbacca when he comes home. So they come home, and the stormtrooper like shows up, and Han knocks the gun away from him, and then the stormtrooper like trips as he's going for his gun and falls to his death.
Hey, I wish we had the video element to this podcast, because I'd like to show everybody like this epic rewind of what the hell we just witnessed as an audience.
It's like Han kind of fakes out going for the gun, so the stormtrooper kind of doubles down on his dive for the gun and just kind of Chris Farley's into the railing and then falls.
Opens and then he's gone, and then we get our Wilhelm scream, and like I guess that what crazy danger. Actually, this is the best part about the very next moment. Actually, this is my first and final favorite moment of this. I know I mentioned the other two, but this is the best. It's as soon as that happens and everybody's safe, Han takes Lumpy, and Lumpy jumps on top of him, and he's holding him for all of like 2 seconds. He's like, "Okay, now go to your dad," and he throws it to Chewbacca. Like, what the hell? Like Harrison Ford.
There's a lot of points in this
person.
There's a lot of points in this special when Han's like, "I love you guys. You guys are great. I consider you family," and I'm like, I don't believe that. But I love it because so the stormtrooper they trick the stormtrooper into committing suicide because Wookiee houses are very high up in the trees. So that stormtrooper fell to his death. Then they hide the evidence. They also toss off the blaster. And then later on, like one of the Imperial people calls the house and they're like, "Hey, we're looking for our our officer.
TK426. What happened to him?
TR8R, or whatever his name is."
Yeah.
And then Sandan's like, I don't know. He kind of he left.
Oh, he robbed the family and left. I think he said that he had stolen food from the family and then went on his way.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, so you killed a person, hid the evidence, and then lied to the authorities. That's a lovely way to ring. Oh, and implicate the entire Chewbacca family.
Yeah.
It's a great way to ring in the holidays.
The Baccas, if you will.
The Baccas. And man, what an ending to what has been a just an absolutely fascinating journey through the Star Wars world.
I mean, don't forget this final sequence once our regular cast leaves, and then all the Baca family, as we are now calling them, they do this. They do
take
this
a page out of
Logan's Run.
I was gonna say, yeah, they take a page out of like Stanley Kubrick, where
they have like Logan's Run, like they all wear these clothes and walk through the orb, and as JonTron once said, like, and only a third of the population would end up making it.
Right, yeah. If audience hasn't seen, JonTron has an amazing video on this. But yeah, that is weird. They're in like robes, and I have to imagine that like the cast, the actors were like, I can't wear this fursuit, it's too hot, just let us wear robes and we'll wear the hat, the
hat and the gloves
heads.
And that's it. Yeah.
And so then we cut to like, I don't know, the Tree of Life, because apparently Star Wars Yggdrasil exists. And
is that what we're calling it?
Well, like Yggdrasil is like the life tree in like Norse mythology.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just know that it is called, like, if you look on like the synopsis, the summary of it, it talks about the Tree of Life. I don't know if there is a major tree on Kashyyyk that is the Tree of Life. So
it's in some sort of parallel dimension, is what it seems.
Anyway, Princess Leia just starts singing
to this theme of Star Wars.
Yeah?
Yeah?
And she gets very close to saying live, laugh, love. I think she says it's like live, laugh, and dream or something.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote that song. Actually, I wonder if there's credits to who wrote that song available.
There are moments when I watch certain films where I just kind of stare in like wide-eyed disbelief at what I'm seeing, and I think Princess Leia just belting out this this song at the end was just like the thing to put that like wide-eyed disbelief on my face.
So I have the lyrics pulled up. They're very short.
No.
And if you will, please. Zach, we celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we can all share together joyously, a day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into might, a day that makes us want to celebrate the light, a day that brings the promise that one day we'll be free to live, to laugh, to dream, to grow, to trust, to love, to be.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Please.
And yeah, all that is kind of to the rhythm of the Star Wars theme.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony.
So yeah, anyway, yeah. And that's basically the Star Wars Holiday Special. It does get bonus points because after that song by Leia, it does play the Throne Room March from the end of A New Hope, which is like one of my favorite Star Wars compositions.
And
John Williams.
And we still get no medal for Chewbacca. What the hell's up with that?
And on Life Day, no less, for shame.
I know. He wore his dress robes. Like he got all dolled up.
Listen, when's Chewbacca gonna get a break? Because I mean, like, his wife's sleeping around. No, I'm sorry. Actually, Mala and Sandan are innocents in this. Chewbacca's a monster.
Yeah,
he needs to be stopped.
It's his fault. You know, in the original Star Wars canon, or the Legends, as people call it, the extended universe, as it used to be known as, Chewbacca
dies.
Yeah, he died. Like, he saved Han Solo's family on whatever planet that was exploding, and yes. He died.
Yep.
And then
I lived for many years knowing that in the expanded universe Chewbacca died, and then in came Disney and they said, lol, nope.
Yeah, I know. Rest in peace, Peter Mayhew.
That's just the way it goes.
I mean, listen, that was the holiday special. I mean, overall, Zach, I just feel like it was probably an hour and a half of our time wasted. At least we could say that we've seen it. You know,
here's
at this
the
point.
thing. Yeah. This isn't bottom of the barrel. This is us dragging our gnarled and mangled stubs of fingers through 20 feet of ground beneath the barrel. So there's only one way to go now, and that's up.
That's true. All right, so I mean, at this point, you could sit down and watch like all of Clone Wars and Rebels and know that it's always going to be better than the holiday special.
That's true. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but
I'm just saying you could.
Yes, it could always be worse. But in a way, I'm kind of glad I watched this. It's kind of like watching something like The Room, where it's so awful.
I would say The Room is 10 times more enjoyable than this. What are you talking about? Of course, The Room is more enjoyable than this.
Well, maybe one day we'll get around to discussing The Room. That'll be a fun day.
I think so too. And hey, like it's the holiday season, right? This is a holiday movie. We gotta enjoy it. It is what it is. The holiday season is the time to laugh and enjoy things, and to share time with loved ones. And what better way to share your time than to spend it with the Baccas on the Star Wars holiday special?
I hope for my holidays this year, I get an Amorphian device like Lumpy.
Oh, yeah, I bet you do. I hope that I get really good, what do they call it? Special Bantha Surprise?
Bantha Surprise.
That's what I want to eat.
I want one of those ID protectors that Sandan talks about that he makes for his ID.
That he goes on and on and on about for whatever reason.
Yeah, he makes it out of leather because he likes to keep it protected because it's really good for it to be protected. And maybe you want to buy one too.
Oh, God. Well, speaking of wanting things and sharing things and liking and subscribing, please, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't mentioned yet, but Script or Screen is available on all your platforms, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Give us a listen, share with your friends, send us a message at scriptorscreen.com if you want to participate in any of our episodes. We have that feature available to you. And let us know what you want to listen to next.
Give us lots of suggestions. We're always open for new ideas. We sometimes like to go with a theme, but if you really want to hear us discuss something, hit us up.
With all that being said, please like, favorite, subscribe, share with your friends. This has been educational.
Never watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, and if you came this far, honestly, if you came this far, you're my hero.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Chris Kitchen.
And I'm Zach Strackman.
You all have a lovely beginning of your holiday season, and see you later on the next one.
Bye.